Greetings and welcome to episode 1, the inaugural episode of the Pransform podcast. I am Christopher Anastasio, and I'm going to be your regular host on this podcast, where we're going to talk about primarily digital marketing for small business, mid-sized businesses, that sort of thing, and we'll get into some related topics as well, surrounding the business world. But again, primarily this is going to be a podcast about digital transformation, digital marketing, those sorts of things. So super excited to be launching this initiative and to have you guys here. So a little bit of background to kind of start us off. There's a few topics I wanted to cover in this first episode. Just kind of give you guys a lay of the land. But to kind of kick things off, this podcast is going to be, a space where, from Pransform's perspective, we put out a topic or two, depending on how ambitious we get in a particular episode, where we put out topics to kind of focus on for that particular episode, sort of drill down into what the topic is, kind of lay out for you guys what it is that we're going to be discussing, and then get into things that are sort of practical in nature, tips, advice, actionable things you guys can use to support and advance your businesses. And so the goal is to leave you with some concepts, but also leave you with some information that you can act upon and put into play for the benefit of your business. So that's just kind of a quick and dirty as to what or how this podcast is going to function. Of course, in our on the page for the podcast, and there's the description area, there's going to be links and other resources that you guys can access. But obviously, in the episodes themselves, we're going to really kind of roll up our sleeves and talk about the types of things that can really help you guys run your businesses and grow your businesses. So a little bit of background about Pransform. Pransform has been around since 2003, so we're coming up on 19 years. We are a digital marketing firm that also does, and for quite some time has done, tax preparation, bookkeeping, accounting tasks, things of that nature for businesses that outsource those functions overseas. But like I said, digital transformation and digital marketing is another pillar of the company, and it's where the primary focus of this podcast will be. Now, a quick note in terms of where we're situated. Pransform is located in the United States. I'm in Virginia. We also have a location in Chicago, and also Asia. We have assets distributed in Thailand and India. So we are a global company that prides itself on our reach and the international flavor of the types of clients and work that we do. So we are super excited to welcome anybody who's listening from any part of the world who's looking for help with these types of topics. So just kind of wanted to lay that out for you guys first. Now, personally, my background, which I won't spend much time on this, but basically, former military officer. I served in the United States Air Force. Discovered myself corporately for a while, but eventually found a great love and a great passion for marketing. Not just sales per se, but the idea of communicating a message, a brand message, to the end consumer or to customers or to clientele. And unabashedly, that passion kind of arose from my pseudo-obsession with a gentleman named Gary Vaynerchuk. Those of you who have read his book Crush It or come across him in on other platforms probably know what I'm talking about. If you're a Gary V fan, then you're kind of dyed in the wool. So that's where a lot of my passion and excitement originally stemmed from, and he sparked that in me. And I'm super excited to just kind of go out into the marketplace and help businesses as much as I can in that area. So that's kind of like a little bit of personal story there. So, focusing on you guys, one of the things that I once ran across from one of my favorite authors that really resonated with me, and I think will resonate with you guys as business owners. An author named Nasim Taleb, he wrote a book called The Black Swan, among some other books, but that was his most famous one. And, the book covered a lot of different topics, not all of which are germane to this podcast, but an interesting thing that he said in one of his books when he was talking about entrepreneurship was that the entrepreneur, particularly the individual or the small business, the person who's just starting, has lots to lose, is essentially, for lack of a better term, the hero, quote unquote, of the economy, right? Because the small business, the entrepreneur, takes sort of a silent risk, right? They take a risk that they are familiar with, okay, that you guys are familiar with. The risks you've taken to start your business and to go out and put your own money and your own time, your blood, sweat, and tears into that business. But in a way, it's silent. The economy as a whole is a vast space, and it doesn't really acknowledge individuals who are just starting and just kind of getting going on their entrepreneurial journey, right? So basically, the entrepreneurs who take these risks, create value for customers, solve problems, and in turn, create opportunities for others, create jobs, create, economic value for people who join the company and can better their lives and accomplish their goals. They are the true heroes of our economy, and they deserve recognition for that. In fact, it's kind of funny because Taleb suggested that there be a National Entrepreneurship Day, a holiday of sorts that would celebrate this concept. So that's kind of where, there's a lot of personal philosophy that I maintain with regard to that. That's my personal feeling about what entrepreneurship means and what small businesses mean to the economy. And so for you as a small or mid-sized business owner, you are facing challenges every day that can easily and quickly become overwhelming. I mean, you're basically juggling everything. Okay, I mean, for lack of a better way to say it, the small businessman, the small businesswoman has every job unto themselves, right? Especially at the very, very beginning. They are the salesperson, they are the accountant, they are the bookkeeper, they are the marketer, they are the worker, they are the CEO. Okay, and I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, okay? So this is more for the benefit of maybe some people who are on the outside looking into this kind of thing. But there's just so much for you to juggle, and striking a balance between all these different activities and all these different functions is not an easy thing to do. I mean, it's a real challenge. And so Pransform understands this and wants to create and provide value to entrepreneurs and business people who are facing those challenges. And of course, if there's a fit and there's a desire on both sides, we want to work with you and help you with those things. Again, particularly in terms of the focus of this podcast, the marketing aspect, okay? But we, from a Pransform perspective, we specialize in helping startups, traditional subject matter experts, what have you, leverage digital technology to propel sustainable business growth. Now, it sounds really fancy, but what it really means is all these innovations, the technology, the smartphone, the mobile connectivity, they have created a tremendous range of opportunity for any business, no matter how small, to grow and scale and really turn into something huge if that's where the owner wants to take it. So that is what we specialize in, is pairing up with individuals in that circumstance and helping them get to that end objective. Okay, so we've served clients in the United States, in India, in Thailand, in Canada, Singapore, and of course we look forward to expanding to new marketplaces and new locations outside of those. But that is, that's the range that we have experience in to date. So again, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, if it's digital strategy and marketing, or something to do with your website or apps that you need developed, content creation, even the accounting and finance, like I mentioned early on, we've got you covered. I mean, we can help with all of these things, and we have significant depth of expertise in these verticals, and can make a difference for your business. So let's talk for a second about, I think it's appropriate to cover this in the first episode, but let's talk a little bit about why digital transformation is so essential for your business. So just a couple points here to go over, guys. Number one, just the ease of operation that comes from working online versus offline. So in other words, the boost that you get to your business workflow, your agility, your quickness in responding to clients or delivering them the results that they're looking for. I mean, this is probably the most obvious of all these points, but what we've experienced from a technology standpoint, particularly with regard to the internet and the smartphone, has just utterly transformed the way even a very micro-sized business can deliver value to its customers and can connect with them, and really deliver that experience to them that they're looking for. So the boost to business workflow and agility is the first one. Another one that's worth thinking about in terms of digital transformation, why it's so essential, is the ability to smoothly penetrate markets using highly refined data analysis. So in other words, before this era, finding your market and having to figure out who is interested in your services could be quite challenging. I mean, it could literally be like having to just kind of blast from a shotgun, just totally kind of throwing yourself out there and seeing what sticks. But in the digital age, we can be very sophisticated about the way we test a market, see what the response is, see what the feedback is, and then sort out who is more likely to buy from us, who is more likely to do business with us than not, and then zero in on that market and bring the limited resources, particularly with small businesses, to sort of focus those limited resources where the most impact can be gained. So I think that's a really significant point, guys, because I mean, you know better than me how difficult it is to stretch every dollar, every minute that you have each day to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish with your business. It is the question that underpins probably every single thing you do for your business, right? So the fact that we can smooth out that ability to penetrate a market and target the consumers who are most likely to work with us and buy from us is a huge deal, okay? So thirdly, customer experience and satisfaction. So we live in a very mobile-oriented, connected, distributed world. And I mean, you guys, I mean, if you've been in business for more than a day, you already know this. You know this probably in a way that can even be painful sometimes, is that customers expect the very best experiences at the quickest speeds. Okay, so I mean, putting it a little bit obtusely there, the people that you're working with in your business, they demand very high degrees of customer satisfaction, and they want things now. They want things delivered quickly. They want it, immediately accessible. Shipped to them right away in their inbox immediately, what have you. And so when we transform digitally the way we operate as business, then we can start meeting those expectations better than ever. Okay, we can really start to deliver some incredible value to our clients and our customers. Okay, and then lastly, I think it's worth stating with a couple of underscores is scale. And this is something that I really did learn early on in my exposure to Gary Vaynerchuk, as I mentioned earlier, and his influence on me, was the sheer reach and scale that is afforded to even a very singular individual. I mean, a person who's operating their business as a sole, as the sole person in the business. Okay, so the tiniest size business you can imagine can reach the largest scale imaginable in terms of putting their message out to the billions of connected users on the internet. And so, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's something that is pretty incredible when you step back and think about it, and you think about how you can start off with sort of this humble beginning, and the next thing you know, your product or your service is known globally. So it's you just kind of like absorb that for a moment. It really kind of blows you away. So, so Pransform wants to help you endeavor on this digital transformation journey and hit these points that I just mentioned to elevate and enhance your business. Okay? So when we, just a quick note about how we work with you. I'm not going to go into tremendous detail here, but when we work with you, it's a very partner-oriented kind of situation. We don't just develop solutions and sort of jam them down your throat. Okay, we work in conjunction with you to understand your business, to really get a sense of where you stand, what you need, what your challenges are, and then tailoring a solution to that circumstance. Okay, whether it's what social media platforms you're on, what kind of content you need to create for your business, whether it's video, whether it's audio, whether it's textual, whether it's a combination, how you're segmenting and targeting your market, all these different moving parts. We are well versed at them, and we work in a very customizable way with you to deliver solutions as far as those things go. Okay, so basically, just kind of wrapping up here, guys. Like I said, this episode was to sort of familiarize you with Pransform, kind of set the table for this podcast, which again, it's not the only channel you're going to find us on. You can kind of look through the different social media channels that we're available on when you go down into the description of the podcast. But you're going to find us on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, and obviously here on your podcast platform. And we encourage you to reach out to us. Engage with us if you have questions, if you have a comment, if you have a room for improvement that you want to point out to us. Whatever the case may be, we welcome it. And we really want to hear from you. Okay? So in closing, I would say let Pransform be your trusted digital partner, assuming that is the stage that you're at in your business, that you're ready to make that transformation, or maybe you're already there, but you don't think it's optimized properly. You don't think that you've gotten to where you could be, or you realize that, hey, I could do this stuff on my own, but I don't know it as well as, let's say an expert would, and it's just going to take me much longer to get there. And oh, by the way, while I'm learning how to do digital marketing and digital transformation, I'm not doing the things that I need to be doing in my business. I'm not delivering my end product. I'm not delivering my service that I provide to my customers. So when you make that calculation, we want Pransform to be the first stop that you think of to make, and of course the last stop that you need to make. Okay? So, if you're interested in learning more, there's going to be a link below in the description that will take you to our website. There'll be more information there that you guys can check out and consume, and just kind of see what questions you have and where you might want to follow up with us or clarify certain things. But we'd love to have a conversation with you. Again, you can engage with us on any of our social media platforms, or you can come over to the website and provide your email address, fill out the form, that sort of thing, and we will follow up with you from there. So with that, I'm going to close out this first episode. Again, I'm personally and organizationally, we are super, super excited to be providing this this podcast to you guys and putting this information out there. It's what we eat, sleep, and breathe. We absolutely love this stuff. So we're really, really excited to be here and to get to talk to you guys about this stuff. And just get into a conversation with you about it and see if it's a fit for you. So with that, thank you again, guys. It's Christopher Anastasio, kind of signing off of episode 1 of the Pransform podcast. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.